Alright, I wanted to mention the Christchurch shooting. Now, obviously, this was done by a sick, demented, and twisted individual. The unfortunate aftermath is exactly what you might expect, and that is far too many people on Twitter and in the mainstream media falling for exactly what the shooter wanted. If you read the shooter's manifesto, and now I read a good chunk of it, I haven't finished it yet, but two things become pretty apparent. Number one, obviously, he is a completely psychopathic, demented, and unhinged individual. That much is crystal clear. And secondly, what he wanted, among many other things, but one of them is exactly what he's getting right now. He is getting people worked up and pointing their fingers at one another. He wanted to act as a catalyst for bloodshed on ethnic, political, and geographic lines. Well, there hasn't been any more bloodshed yet, but people are certainly up in a frenzy. I hope that's the extent of what he gets. This is one of those situations where, despite how horrific it is, you need to breathe, relax, and think clearly. This shooter says to subscribe to PewDiePie during the shooting. Again, he's using someone prominent with 90 million subscribers on YouTube for a reason. He wants to further the wedge between people and create more of a divide in the hopes of more chaos. Now, I would hope people would be able to sit down, relax, set any political ideology aside, and think through the logic of blaming PewDiePie for this. Now, first off, I don't subscribe to PewDiePie. In the past 5 years, I've probably watched a total of a few hours of his content. He never came across as a violent person. At worst, he makes some edgy types of jokes. But here's the real takeaway. He has nearly 90 million subscribers. 90 million. That is more than the entire population of the UK. 90 million subscribers is about 27% of the entire population of the United States. If there was a correlation at all, in any sense whatsoever, between being a fan of PewDiePie and committing a heinous act, PewDiePie has 90 million subscribers. If there was a correlation, then you should expect to see far more violence being perpetrated in the name of PewDiePie. 1 out of 90 million. That is literally 0.000000001% of his subscribers have committed a heinous act. On top of that, as I said, it was rather explicitly stated by the shooter that his goal was to increase divisiveness. Given this, it's sad to me that people so easily fall into their own pit of blind political motivations and just give in to throwing blame around. As I said, if there was any correlation between PewDiePie's influence and violence out in the world, you would expect to see far more violence than there actually is. Given the entire population of the places we are talking about, violence is extraordinarily uncommon. The only reason people feel otherwise is because you have a constant feed to the mainstream media telling you about every tragedy that occurs within millions of square miles among hundreds of millions of people. And you have this feed through your smartphones that are on you 24/7, through your laptop, your tablets, your desktops, the podcasts you listen to, the televisions in every gym, every airport, every bank. It's everywhere you look. You are being inundated with tragedy. It's the same phenomenon you see with police officers. They have, on average, a less rosy outlook on the general population because most of the time they are dealing with the outliers of society. And most of the time, if not all of the time, the mainstream media is showing you the outliers of situations that occur, again, among millions of square miles among hundreds of millions of people. So what's the implication of all this? Well, it's exactly what you see. People acting as if there's an epidemic when it's really just isolated incidents. People casting blame on hugely influential people because of the actions of one person. Yet they never stop, scratch their heads, and wonder whether they might be wrong given that these incidents are less frequently occurring than what they perceive them to be, thanks to the mainstream media. But that's got to be it for now. Like and sub, and I will catch you later. Thank you.